it's really great to get in touch with your personal energy cycle. You know, each one of us has a different flow of sharpness, of energy, of dynamics, of when I have the most mental acuity, when I'm more able to do physical activities. So if you start timing your personal goals, so this is more directed towards personal goals, around your personal energy flow, rather than trying to be a linear, like, I'm going to go to the gym every 6 a.m. on 5 days a week, when maybe in the morning times it's not really a time that you've ever had a lot of energy. So, and maybe the afternoon times is a time that you always have a lot of physical drive. So instead of trying to trying to shove ourselves in an idea of what the culture or society or our friends or our family or an old past idea has of what's the appropriate energy flow for a human being, of trying to see what the natural ones are. Now there's a caveat to that, because you can always grow in energy. You can always increase your energy flow. And so you don't want to start relating to yourself as a stagnant energy form. Like, this is the amount of energy I have. This is the amount of sleep that I need. You don't want to start like putting yourself in that box. So you want to acknowledge that there's evolution that can happen to you, that you can evolve into a different being. If we are a network of relationships, and we are points of perception and action, is there 7 billion people on the planet now? 7 billion points of perception and action. And those points of perception are potential creative forces, potential imaginers of new ways to organize things. So that's never existed before. We've never had that much creative energy on Earth. We've had small bits of creative consciousness over the millennium of our evolutionary time. Have everything you want, easier, better, happier, by just aligning with ecosystems. It'll all work. And you'll get what you want, and you'll be happy. So, since we're a network of relationships, and we are this point of perception and action, and we are this web of conscious, creative action right now, there's an incredible power there. So, but that power has to be aligned with the realities of life on Earth. Reality number one is that we have a huge amount of energy that comes in every day via the sun, right? Billions, I wrote it down, I didn't write it down in this particular, but there's terawatts every day of energy that we get here. Is actually, if math works, if we have A is the solar resource, and let's say B is the energy, the finite materials, and then C is us. And what are we? We have the capacity to mix these two things up in all kinds of ways, right? We do it all the time. We make buildings, we make cars, we make all kinds of stuff, right? We mix the energy and the materials of the earth, right? So if that's that capacity, that's us. What is that capacity? Is there a limit to that capacity? Is there a limit to the number of ways that we can combine material on the earth?
No.
Is there a limit? Right, but theoretically there's not. There would become a point where we made the planet uninhabitable, right? But theoretically there's no limit to how much we can combine those. And there's a limit to the amount of energy that comes to the earth, but there's a lot of it for a long time, right? So you still have this is limited, but the combinations of the two, us, is infinite. So if you're multiplying limited by limited, or even adding limited by limited and multiplying it by an infinite amount of combinations, that still leaves infinite potential, if math is right. There's still an infinite potential of how we can create. Now, I say that with a caveat, and the caveat is that those combinations have to be aligned with the fundamental principles of how ecosystems work and how they create stable systems for life to exist, for the life that we know. So as long as we follow these ecosystem principles, the combinations that we can make are infinite.